To determine the volt-ampere load on service conductors, we'll follow a step-by-step process. Firstly, we need to calculate the amperage for each motor. For the 115-volt motors, the 5 horsepower continuous duty motor has a nameplate rating of 46.82 amps. For the 230-volt motors, the 7.5 horsepower 5-minute intermittent duty motor has a nameplate rating of 33.2 amps, and the 10 horsepower continuous duty motor has a nameplate rating of 41.5 amps. Moving on to the 460-volt motors, the 7.5 horsepower continuous duty motor has a nameplate rating of 9.13 amps. The 20 horsepower 5-minute intermittent duty motor has a nameplate rating of 22.41 amps, and the 40 horsepower continuous duty motor has a nameplate rating of 43.16 amps. It's important to note that while code table values are generally used, the nameplate amps are provided in this case, so we will use those for our calculations. Secondly, we convert the amperage to volt-amperes for each rotor using the formula volt-amperes equals voltage times amps. For the 115-volt motor, the volt-amperes is 115 volts times 46.82 amps, which equals 5,383.3 volt-amperes. For the 230-volt motors, we have two calculations. One is 230 volts times 33.2 amps, which equals 7,636 volt-amperes. The second calculation is 230 volts. I'm forgetting that. The 460-volt motor is rated at 22.41 amps, which is 460 volts times 22.41 amps equals 10,264.6 volt-amperes. For the last of the 460-volt motors, it is rated at 43.16 amps, which equals 460 volts times 43.16 amps, which is 19,904.8 volt-amperes. Thirdly, we sum the volt-ampere load for all the motors, which is 5,383.3 volt-amperes plus 7,636 volt-amperes plus 10,264.6 volt-amperes plus 19,904.8 volt-amperes, totaling 43,188.7 volt-amperes. Therefore, the volt-ampere load on the service conductors is 43,188.7 volt-amperes. It's also important to consider intermittent duty cycles. For this calculation, we assume the intermittent duty motors are operating at the rated capacity. However, if the motors are expected to operate intermittently, their volt-ampere load can be reduced accordingly. The main service voltage is 480/277 volts, but the motors are rated at 230/115 volts and 460 volts. This is not uncommon, as transformers are often used to step down voltage for distribution to electrical loads.